Thank you, and good morning. Today is Wednesday, January the 11th, 2024. This is our first regularly scheduled board meeting, and so we will get started here shortly. It is 9 a.m. My name is Roxana Gamusio. I'm the Executive Director with the Collection Service Board. Thank you to everyone here. As first order of business, just to make sure we can proceed, Chair, if you're okay, I'm going to do roll call vote, and we will get started. Mr. Chip Hellman? Thank you. Greg Schworski? Here. Thank you. Tony Zukowicz?
Present.
Thank you. And Jason Hill? Present. Thank you. And Lori has let us know for a minute she's not going to be attending our meetings. So we have quorum.
Excuse me. One correction.
Yes.
It's not today, January 10th?
Yes.
Sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
It is January 10th, 2024. It is our regular meeting. Thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that, Chip. Okay, so we do have a quorum in order to proceed. As the first item of business, I do want to go ahead and take a minute and introduce our new attorney for the program. Joe Wardham is sitting next to me, and he will be handling all the collections items. Possibly if you have questions, you'd reach him or I, and I'll give Joe a minute to introduce himself as well.
Board members, it's great to meet you guys. I'm excited to work with you. If you ever have any questions or I can help you out in any way, please let me know. Try to be as thorough as I can in the legal reports. Just as an FYI, my background is in bankruptcy law. I spent over 6 years working in the consumer bankruptcy environment, so it isn't directly applicable, but there is a lot of follow over and carry there, and I'm certainly familiar, with collection practices. So great to see y'all this morning. Great to meet each one of you, and look forward to the future.
Welcome.
Thank you. And we were blessed to have Laura for the first meeting. Laura Martin's his supervisor, so she'll be pulling away, but also available if we should have other questions till Joe gets settled. Thank you so much. This notice has been posted on the board's website. The actual date for this was added on July 14th of 2023 when the board approved all the 2024 dates, and then this agenda was added to the board's website on January 3rd. So proper notice has been given. Members, you were all emailed the agenda as well as the redacted legal report and the minutes from October. If you've had a chance to review them, let me know if you saw any changes that are needed. Otherwise, they are on your iPad starting with page 2, and I would need a motion to approve those minutes as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Chip Hellman and a second by Tony. All those in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are accepted. Same with the agenda. If you could review the agenda and make sure there are no revisions. As the board knows, at the end during new business, we will take a minute to see if there's anyone participating here in person or through Teams that has any comments regarding the agenda itself. So we'll break and make sure that we give individuals an opportunity for that as well. But I would need a motion for the agenda to be accepted as well.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Greg and a second by Chip. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none. Thank you, members. That takes care of our two primary items here. We're looking at the director's report next, and that starts on your iPads on page 14. On the director's report, if you'll take a look at the 4-year projection, I'm skipping over my notes. I have fiscal year 2022-2023 ending numbers that you'll see. It reflects a deficit of $13,566 as our ending number. That brings the surplus down to $914,722. So that's how we closed at the end of fiscal year 2023. The next document before you shows numbers through November, and we are adding to the deficit, unfortunately, $20,558. It brings our reserve just under $900,000. We are at $894 and $164. This board is extremely knowledgeable of the trends in the industry, what's going on with that, and so I don't think that this is anything unexpected. So we're just kind of looking at it. We still see the same things we've seen, some of the companies closing and no longer doing collections. So anytime you have questions, let me know. That takes care of our budget. And the first order of business before we proceed to the legal report is because this is our first meeting in 2024, we need to make sure that we vote and determine that we are following Robert's Rules of Order. If we have any questions, Joe and definitely Laura can answer our questions. We do this every year, and I don't think it's new to anyone, but I would need a motion to proceed and follow Robert's Rules of Order in the conduct and how we carry out our meetings. Thank you, Jason. We have a motion by Jason Hill. Do we have a second? Second by Greg. All those in favor to proceed, acknowledging that we follow Robert's Rules of Order, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And the next item that, again, by statute, we do each year on our first meeting would be to elect our chair and vice chair. We don't have a limit of how many times a person can serve or being the same. And so I welcome any nominations. Let's start first maybe with our chair for 2024.
I third.
I have a motion by Greg, and I missed it because I was writing and smiling. Who was the second? Thank you, Jason. Okay, so we have a motion by Greg and a second by Jason to nominate Chip Hellman as our chair. Again, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Thank you, sir. Next, we are looking to nominate our vice chair. We would the same need a motion to nominate a vice chair.
Nominate Greg Swirsky.
Thank you. We have a motion by Chip and a second by Jason to, for 2024, again, nominate Greg Swirsky. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Okay. Hearing none, this board does have a secretary, and so this would be the same. We would need a nomination and then votes on the secretary. And of course, currently, Chip Hellman was the chair, Greg Swirsky was the vice chair, and Tony was the secretary. So at this point, we're just needing the secretary. I have a motion by Jason Hill to nominate Tony. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second by Greg. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Thank you. That takes care of our order of business for the start of 2024. Any questions? Okay. Board members, then I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Joe regarding the legal report. And on your iPads, that starts on page 16. I believe you've got 24 cases to review. Joe?
Good morning, members of the board. There are 24 complaints on this report. I know we sent it to you before the meeting to review, but I'll give you a couple minutes to review or ask me any questions that you have, and we'll just go through item list by item list, okay?
Guys, I think we're ready. Have any items with specific questions?
No, this is the most $500 consent order fines I think I've ever seen on a report.
Right.
4 of them that I've seen.
Yeah.
I really don't have questions. I mean, it looks like some of these people need to read up on the laws.
Yeah, that's right.
But I don't have any specific questions. I think the responses are valid. And
Yeah, I agree too. I want to ask one question, of course, but letter of instruction, on number 9, your recommendation is a letter of instruction regarding validation of debts. That's a little different twist. So you're informing, in this case, you're informing the respondent on what the rules, the laws are regarding validation of debts. Is it?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. So a letter of instruction would be viewed as one less serious step than a letter of warning. So a letter of warning is, hey, I see this conduct. This is a warning violation. This would be a violation or nearly rises to, disciplinary conduct. Letter of instruction would be, hey, I've seen the conduct here. The rules are this. Make sure that moving forward, despite the facts and what has been alleged here, your conduct follows what I have issued you, which is the black and white law.
Okay.
basically 3.
Yeah, I would say that you could characterize it as that, yeah. And this would be the least severe of the 3.
In terms of the $500, which Tony referred to, once you issue those, if the respondent wants to argue that, doesn't want to pay it, what are the next steps for them?
So essentially, if they don't enter the consent order and agree to pay what we have listed as a $500 fine, we would then move forward with a hearing in front of an administrative law judge. The facts would be put before the judge, or you all could decide to hear the matter as well. And essentially, either you or the judge would hear the facts and then make a ruling on a citation amount that they believe is just, based off of essentially a trial on the conduct. But you all would have the discretion to choose whether or not you want to hear that case and determine, the disciplinary action based off the facts, if any, or whether or not you want to refer that to the administrative law department, and then a judge would hear that, and then obviously we would send you the final results of what they've ruled.
General statement, we don't like to hear those cases here, especially when I think of like Greg and I were both still in the industry. It seems
understood. I just wanted to make sure that you all were aware of all the options.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in the day, they used to like to do that.
Yeah, they loved it. And these meetings would go for a long, long time. But I don't think that's what we want to do here. Okay. I guess we need a motion to accept the legal report. I'm sorry. Oh, that's right. Thank you. You should be chair. We have to read the case number.
Just the case numbers. If that's okay with you.
Each complaint number.
Each of the complaint numbers, 1 through 24. Because then the motion seems to be to accept them as read on the record.
All right, so we would be, the motion would be accepting the recommendations on the following cases: 202-303-3681, 202-303-8561, 202-304-1891, 202-304-1931, 202-304-3501, 202-304-3581, 202-304-6031, 202-304-8021, 202-305-0051, 202-305-3721, 202-305-6131, 202-304-9361, 202-305-2911, 202-305-5521, 202-305-6581, 202-305-6741, 202-305-9461, 202-305-8501, 202-305-2081, 202-304-6711, 202-305-3901, 202-305-6311, 202-306-0761, 202-305-3691. Those are all the cases. Thank you.
Great. You heard the cases. Could we have a motion to accept the legal report, please?
Second.
Thank you.
Aye.
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 Thank you very much. We have a motion by Jason, a second by Tony, and all in favor of accepting the legal recommendations on each of these cases as presented. That takes care of the legal report. Thank you very much, Joe. Great job for your first report. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really look forward to working with you all.
Thank you, members. The last item, of course, is new business, new order of business. We don't have anyone participating in person here with us. Dana, just want to check if anyone's on Teams and has any questions raised. If you could let me know.
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Hearing that we don't have any
Can I
comments.
just ask
Absolutely.
a question about that? And then
Yes.
We'll be
We're
finished.
great.
Okay. I was told by the Tennessee Municipal League that last year the state legislature passed either a rule or a law requiring public comments for not only meetings like this, but also city meetings, really all meetings, to allow public comment. And so Gary, I don't know if you guys know Gary Jekyll, but he's a lawyer that works for TML, and he's strongly encouraging any government meeting at any level to always have something on the agenda for public comments. And so I noticed that's on our agenda. Do you guys know, is that actually a law or a recommendation?
Hi. Yeah, so it's both.
Okay.
It is a law that passed requiring that we do allow, really just requiring sort of just allowing a very broad range of public comments. So this department has always really pushed the idea of allowing people to participate. So
Right.
I will say that for the most part, the way that we approach public comments isn't going to change a lot, but we did add something to our agenda just to be sure that we're in compliance with the law and that anybody can come and make a public comment so long as it pertains to something that's on the agenda and so long that it wouldn't, sort of destroy, you know how Joe presented these cases anonymously. Somebody couldn't come up and make a comment that would reveal some of that anonymous nature. The language, though, is a recommendation, and we've been working with the governor's office to make sure that our policies and procedures are in compliance with the law.
Does that recommendation specifically use the term related to items on the agenda? And I'm not asking you to quote that but I guess if somebody came in and had something they wanted to talk about here, and it wasn't really part of the agenda, it wasn't a legal matter, maybe somebody just out of the clear blue, and this is what I'm getting at, suggests the fees go down, want to make a public comment because they think the licensing fees are too high, or maybe they think they're too low. It doesn't really matter. It's not on our agenda. Would we allow it?
So that's your discretion, which is sort
Okay.
of the point. We put that on there that it's related to the agenda because otherwise people wouldn't be on notice, right? If somebody showed up and wanted to talk about something that was completely off topic, the board or unrelated to the agenda, the board would have the discretion to be like, we're not going to hear that. That's inappropriate. We're not going to engage in that. And we just want people to be on notice. Technically, it's still your discretion. If someone showed up and said, hey, I would like to talk about this, the board has the authority to say, yeah, we'll hear that. And also, as Roxana knows, with her experience with this board and other boards, people will sometimes reach out to her ahead of time and say, I'd really like to show up at the next board meeting and talk about X topic. And she would probably email you, the chair, and get your thoughts on that prior to the meeting. But you wouldn't have to shut down a comment just because it's unrelated to the agenda, but you could. And that's just the discretion that the statute gives to the board.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to make sure I understood the scope of that because, yeah, it's going to, at some point, I don't know, our meetings are not well attended, but at some point somebody's going to show up and want to talk to us.
It has already come up at other board meetings
Sure.
that are also not always well attended. So
Okay.
it is good to understand the parameters. But again, it does have to be related to the agenda, but the law is really pushing that we're more inclusive of accepting public comments than not.
That's great. Thank you. That was really my only question.
Absolutely. Great question, actually. Yes.
I think we would entertain a motion to adjourn. If anybody wants to be on record for that.
I second.
We have a motion by Jason to adjourn and a second by Tony. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Chair. And I've got us ending at 9:55. Thank you
Perfect.
for all you do. Meeting
Thank
is
y'all.
adjourned. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you.